Well, welcome back, boys and girls, to another episode of the quest for the best out-of-the-box striker fire pistol between $350 and $550. I'm your host, Baret, aka True Exodus on Instagrammy. Today, we're looking at the FNS9 from FN, and I've had a little bit more experience with this gun than the 509, but I've had a little over 1,700 rounds through this gun in about the course of 4 months. Really like this gun a lot. We're gonna see and test its shootability, its reliability, and of course its price. So here we are at 25 yards testing the accuracy of the gun. Okay, so I took a break real fast. My wife called me inside. So we're gonna, happy wife, happy life. So the sun is kind of set a little bit. So we're gonna do our accuracy testing here at 25 yards. If the magazine will want to see, operator error. Slow fire, we'll speed it up for time's sake. All right, after 15 rounds, we're gonna see how we did here at 25. Just trying to take that slow fire technique a little bit, be a little bit more consistent with that instead of just ripping out 15 rounds. Combat sight picture here at 25. Looks like we scored another high one right here. So we got 1, 2, but everything else is pretty consistent. This is a combat sight picture. The dot is really big and fat on this sucker. Very difficult for me to be absolutely precise, but consistent. Like the trigger a lot. All right, so here we are at 50, asking ourselves the question, does the FNS9 help the shooter, me, connect well at 50 accurately, consistently, repeatably? Let's see what's going on here. Just doesn't help me. Now I can pick up pretty much any gun that doesn't have these big fat sights and just hit it every time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna prove my point. All right, so to show you that I can actually shoot at 50 yards, right? Here's a CZP 07. That's a misses there, whatever. CZP 10C. H&K VP9. So just showing you, I can land it at 50 with pretty much any gun, but when it's got a big fat front combat sight on it, I can't connect well with it at 50. So it's about the gun aiding the shooter to shoot at 50 yards. Okay, so let's look at some features of the FNS9. Cocking serrations, very nice, very sharp. I like them. I actually opened up some zip ties with these front cocking serrations earlier. It's got a safety. Oh, Baret, we don't like safeties. Well, this one doesn't really come up very easily, so it's good. Comes down very nicely, very kind of intuitively with the thumb. So if you want to carry safety, you've got that option there. It's very low profile too. You don't really notice them too much. They kind of remind me of the Shield Smith & Wesson safeties. Ambidextrous slide release, very nice. Ambidextrous magazine release. I love the way the magazine comes out, and these magazines are dope. I don't know why they're like black chrome. I love it. It's a 17+1 9mm, and I love it a lot. Front and back straps that you can take off and adjust. I love the way it's sticky, like that a lot. And yeah, it's just a really sexy looking pistol, I think. Talk about the grip. The shootability relies upon also the bore axis of the gun as well. How low does the bore sit in relation to my hand? It's a fairly low bore axis. I like it. The shootability of the gun, the recoil impulse is very nice. I got a little video of that. I also, I like the way the gun feels in my hand. I have a nice little place to put my thumb for a little shelf, like, so I can manage the recoil. Overall, I like the grip a lot. The trigger, yes, the trigger, love it. Very short amount of pre-travel to wall. Slight little hiccup, unlike the 509. The 509 didn't have a hiccup, but this gun breaks. No real over travel, but the reset is a lot better than the 509. Whereas before, the 509's reset was sluggish, the FNS9 is just muy bueno. Very nice. I like it a lot. I would say about 4.5, maybe 5 pounds of trigger pull, not very much. But again, something I don't like is, of course, the trigger safety. I don't like the fact that I can still press it up here and make, like, what's the point of having the trigger safety if I can press it up here and it still goes off? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Or press it from the side and it still goes off, right? So I don't understand that. That's something I just don't like. So therefore, I don't like how the trigger is designed as a whole. You got a big old fat combat front sight, 2 smaller dot systems that are going on. The backs are serrated, but there's no real place for me to get a good angle on these to, like, rack it off my pants or anything like that. So I do not like the sights. Something I would swip out if I were making this my carry gun. All right. Let's talk about the reliability of the FNS. I've had 1,700 rounds through it, a little more than 1,700 rounds through it from the filming that we have today. 0 malfunctions, nothing wrong with the pistol. No stovepipes, failure to feeds, failure to ejects, no magazine issues. Unlike the 509, we had magazine issues with that. I just had nothing but wonderful experience with the reliability of this gun so far. Now we're gonna put it through the Indiana dirt test, the sand test, and of course the baptism test. So the Indiana dirt test. Now I know that a lot of people don't like my testing because I just do all this debris and then I rack it, but you know what? You want to do your own testing and buy all your own guns and ammo and have your own YouTube channel, and you can do it yourself. Do something different. All right, let's see if this piece of crap wants to fire. Trigger reset. Did not reset. It's taking a second. Just same trigger reset issues that we saw with the 509. A lot of tight tolerances in there, and because of that, when sand or dirt gets in it, doesn't want to work. All right, now we got the fine sand test. Ooh. Oh, I just see some spots where it's just gonna, like, no. Okay. Oh, gross. All right, let's see if the trigger wants to work this time. Please work, FNS, please work. No, it's still not resetting. Didn't lock back on that last round, but that's okay. At least the gun worked, unlike the F09 that failed to go into battery. Okay, so now we're gonna wash the FNS of its sin, white as snow. You know, the Bible says that if we decide that we want to believe in Jesus, repent and be baptized, that baptism offers forgiveness of sins, and this is where we receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. Just want to let you know that, just in case you didn't know that. Rack it. All right, please work, please work. Trigger's not resetting. It's all manually reset. But the gun fired, the trigger's not wanting to work as far as I have to keep pushing it to reset it. All right, guys, when we look at the FNS9, how does it rate overall? Well, starting with the grip, I like the grip a lot. It does have a little bit of a higher bore axis than, like, say, a Glock would, but it's still lower than a VP9. It's still a little bit lower than a Canic. I like the shootability of the gun. It helps out a lot. The grip angle is not what I care for, but other than that, I like it, and I'm going to give it, giving everything, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's as good as a Glock. I don't think it's as good as a CZ-P10C, but I do like it. But when we move on to the sight picture, I'm not a big fan of the sight picture. I don't like the back sights. I don't like the combat sight picture. At 25, we weren't too bad, but when we searched out the 50, man, I couldn't hit diddly. And I'm blaming that on the sights. I'm not gonna blame it on me, right? Given everything in comparison to the sights that we've seen, I'm gonna rate them a 6.5 out of 10. Now, moving on to the trigger is one of the nicest ones I like, and it would be up there with a lot of the CZ and the Canic. as far as I'd give it like an 8.5 rating, but because it didn't want to work and because it seems like that's its only flaw in my mind, is that there's not enough space between the trigger and the frame, the actual trigger housing and the frame. Dirt and debris makes it very difficult to reset it. It's not a real positive reset to begin with, but still better than the F09. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. And for the overall reliability of the firearm, I've been so impressed with this gun. And as you saw from the testing, it did not fail like the 509 did, but it failed in the regards to the trigger. So the trigger was an issue that the 509 has faced, that this has faced. I've gone through reviews on the internet and I've seen the exact same issues. 509, take this, or 509, FN, take this as a cry to fix this, okay? Take it as a cry to fix this, because this seems to be my biggest issue and a number of other people who review this pistol, their biggest issue as well. Because of that, I'm going to give the overall reliability rating a 7 out of 10. So the overall rating that we're able to do, 6.875 out of 10. Kind of a lower rating, but still a very good pistol. I like it a lot, except for the whole dirt not wanting to make the trigger work. The price of the FNS9, I was able to pick up the FNS9 for about $490. It was a pretty good deal that I found at $490 new at our local shop, and so I was really pleased about the price of the gun and where the gun's at right now in the market. Guys, thank you so much for liking and subscribing and being a part of this quest that we go on. Next time when we come back, we're gonna look at the Gen 5 Glock 19. Now, I'm a Glock 19 fanboy, have been for about 8 years, but still neither here nor there. We're gonna look at the reliability, the durability, and the price of the Gen 5. I want to close by saying, remember everyone deployed. There's a lot of people that are home away from their families that are out there fighting the good fight, special forces units, and a lot of other different people all throughout the world that are fighting on America's behalf. And I just want to take a moment and say thank you. You're in my prayers. God bless you all. Hold fast, stay the course. True Exodus out.